David Savage, aka Diz, and this is The Force Always.
Okay, so welcome to the show. Let's get on with the Star Wars news. The Clone Wars Season 7 continues. My review of Unfinished Business, the title of that episode, Unfinished Business, The Clone Wars Season 7. I'll do a review of it later on in the show. Stick around for that. Anyway, let's get on with the Star Wars news. As I just said, The Clone Wars continues with, I think it's the fourth episode called Unfinished Business. It's available now on Disney Plus, and I did say Unfinished Business. It's on Disney Plus. Check it out. It's online now. Anyway, to more news. It's about 2 weeks away to the Blu-ray, DVD, whatever you release, Steelbook, whatever you want to buy it as, The Rise of Skywalker. About 2 weeks away. In the coming days, we'll be getting the digital release of The Rise of Skywalker, and apparently it comes on the digital release with some interviews and behind the scenes type of stuff as well, so check that one out. Anyway, so that's pretty much the Star Wars news for this time around. Let's get right into the views. Now, views is going to be a little bit of a change up this week. Views is generally my story ideas within Star Wars itself, like whether it's the episodic films, the standalone films, maybe a trailer, a poster, anything, a story about something behind it. That's my input. But anyway, my story this week is going to be sort of based on a possible true story. Now, we've got this thing that's happening in the world at the moment. Let's call it what's happening at the moment in the world. Let's call it that, because this particular episode of mine may get demonetized or whatever it is. So I don't want that to happen. I'd rather get to you guys. Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim is a good 6 months away. But it's taken so far about 3 months for the thing that's happening in the world at the moment to really sort of become a bit more taken seriously. In my humble opinion, I think it's a bit overrated, but don't get me wrong, be cautious, but I think the whole world's going crazy. That's in my opinion. But anyway, it's taken about 3 months to get to this point. Usually when people find that momentum, it takes longer than the build-up. So that is about 6 months away, which is Star Wars Celebration. If this thing in the world does not cool down very soon, I think personally Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim is going to be in doubt, especially the fact that Thursday and Sunday tickets are still available. And also the fact there's not a whole lot of interest of what's going to really happen at Star Wars Celebration. We don't know what's to look forward to. We don't know what's going to be really there. Besides the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back, which would be great. But I don't know if you're going to be flying from the other side of the planet to this event, especially the way the event has been run the last couple of times, especially the last one. With this lottery system. But anyway, that's my opinion again of something else. But anyway, don't worry about that. So my view of this time around is that be aware that tickets could be cancelled. I'd really hold back on the accommodation, because if it does get cancelled, your accommodation in some parts of the world, I don't know, wherever you come from, can completely not be refunded. Flights will be cheap, I'm sure of it, but hold back on that just a little while longer to really be assured that you're going to be there and it's not going to be cancelled. But give it to the end of this next month to see where this thing that's happening in the world, because this based on a true story views section could be a very bad outcome to that story. But anyway, so stick around for that. I thought I'd just put that in the air because I just thought, well, so many things have been cancelled. Anyway, so now let's get into the reviews. Reviews is of the Clone Wars which is an animated series for Star Wars. It's the 7th season. I think it's episode 4. I'm sure it's episode 4 from the top of my head. But it's called Unfinished Business. For me, it being called Unfinished Business, cool title because that technically is a great album of hip hop many decades ago, but it's got nothing to do with that. So look, straight off the bat, this episode was a 6.5 out of 10. I think now the episodes are starting to drag because they're sort of bleeding into each other. It's not moving forward. It's still a good episode. It's not a bad episode. It's good. It's just the same thing with a little bit of variation in it. It had a bit more Anakin in this one. It had a bit more Obi-Wan, and definitely Mace Windu. But I just think it's become a bit tiresome. It really does need to get some of the juicy characters we really want to know about, which is Maul, and we want to know a bit more about Ahsoka and things like this. What's happened, where they, what, why, when, how, all this type of thing. But it's just holding back, and it's just dragging on. That's what I think. It's still a good episode to watch. 6.5 out of 10. Check it out. Let's just wish that it gets a bit more momentum. Anyway, that's my review for this time around. Let's get into the interviews. There's 2 questions we'll ask myself for you guys out there. First question is, with what's happening in the world at the moment, let's call it that again, what's happening in the world at the moment, if you know what I'm saying, it's a C word, sort of another bad C word, but anyway, how is this going to affect Star Wars with this thing that's happening in the world at the moment? Even though, the only things I can think of is that The Mandalorian is coming up to its 2nd season. It's either come to the end of the shoots, or if it does have reshoots, it will be in trouble in release. I'm unsure, but the only thing that it could affect, this thing that's happening in the world at the moment, is season 2, The Mandalorian. It will definitely come out, but it may be delayed because of possible reshoots or possible not ending the first lot of shoots. It's the only thing I can think of that's going to affect Star Wars. This is not official, it's not something I know, it's just something that I'm thinking what it could affect with Star Wars at the moment. Anyway, so that's my first question. The second question actually is not really Star Wars related, but it's sort of to do with what's happening in the world at the moment. But to let you know, as you know, partly I'm from Melbourne, Australia. We sort of just come out of summer. We didn't really have a summer here. I know the stories overseas, you would have seen fire, bushfire, story after, but I come from the south, which is around here, and it's cooler south. In other parts of the world, south is more hotter, but anyway, for us, south is cooler, and we really had a bad summer here in Melbourne, Australia. But we did get a lot of smoke, haze from the bushfires from the other states, and that was a bit sort of frightening to sort of see and experience. In the last couple of weeks, we've had this toilet paper issue. Oh my goodness, all the shelves in our supermarkets here, no toilet paper. Thank goodness we bought some before that, but anyway, that's a good thing. But the only, besides the talk of what's happening in the world at the moment, which is continuous, and it's causing probably the more, sickness within people at the moment, that aspect. Today, the Grand Prix Formula One got cancelled at the very last moment. Would have left some of the fans a bit unhappy, I would say. But as I was waking up this morning, I'm only about 15 minutes away from the actual track. You could hear, the engines of some sort of vehicles going around the track, whether it was practice, whether it was something going on, we don't know, but it was definitely something that was happening. People started lining up, but then shortly after, it was told that it was cancelled, and which is remarkable for here because it's held in an area of Melbourne called Albert Park. That track takes about 3 or 4 months for it to get built, So it's been a lot of effort, money to get that sort of thing up and happening. I wouldn't be surprised that's the reason why they just held off in cancelling it, because it's such a money waste and time and effort. So that's the thing that's happening in Melbourne, Australia, from this whole thing that's happening in the world at the moment. It's got cancelled. I don't know if they're going to do that sort of, the first part of this whole series of this year again or somewhere other place. I don't know. Maybe they'll just cancel it completely. But it's definitely being felt here. It's definitely being talked about a lot, and sort of toilet paper is at a minimal. That's the news. Anyway, and that was not really Star Wars related, but this whole thing is affecting the world at the moment. This question sort of connected to my first question, but anyway, that's what I have at the moment. Anyway, until next week, please subscribe to the channel, The Force Always, only on YouTube. Twitter me if you like, or Instagram me. The details are just down there, or YouTube, message me, whatever you like. I'm here on a weekly basis, Star Wars news, views, reviews, and interviews. And until next week, keep rocking. Oh yeah, and make the toilet paper be with you.